Hey there, folks. Rudros here, bringing you I guess it's kind of a deck tech, but really I'm trying something new, and I'm kind of trying some new stuff for the channel in general, so we will see where it goes. Anyway, this isn't going to be like a full deck tech where I just sit there and break down the cards, because one, this is kind of an old concept. Really, I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the new things I saw, and where I see this Guardians deck as of right now, Opus 21. And I'll do a couple Goldfishing hands on Octagon afterwards to show you, because folks seem to really like that. Anyway, so if you've known Guardians, it came out in, what, Opus 15.5, 16, sometime around there. Let's see, what do these cards say? They all say 16, so presumably Opus, yeah. It was like that, Opus 15.5. So not a whole lot has changed for this, but the whole reason I was inspired to do it again, one, Final Fantasy X is my favorite Final Fantasy. Two, with these new backups, we got Princess Sarah, the Lena. Eureka and I had talked about in our set review that, well, Wind Water really has a really good backup engine. And I thought, man, could you build a deck where basically every backup searches for something else? So that was really the basis of the idea, and these characters naturally fit into Wind Water. So Buddy, Sarah, King Tycoon all search for other backups. So that's 7 cards, and if you open any one of these, not only are you guaranteed to get another backup, you're essentially guaranteed to color fix yourself. So Buddy can search out either additional copies of himself, he can search out Brother, he can get Kamari, he can get any of these Riku. And Riku basically is color fixed for you because all of your characters are Final Fantasy X characters, your forwards anyway. And then what's the phrase? Sarah can get out King Tycoon, which King Tycoon can then search into Lena, which is really cool. Or if you already have the King Tycoon, or if you don't need him, you can search directly for the Lena, or you can search directly for the Princess Sarah, which is really cool. Kamari's just kind of here. Kamari, Riku, Buddy, again, they just kind of fill out the 10 slots, as does Brother. But I was like, that could be fun. So basically reworked Guardians around that. Unfortunately, I don't think this deck has really gotten much new in the way of forwards or monsters that I think make it super impactful. I was looking through the Opus 21 cards, and I just didn't see anything that really stood out to me. And this deck's biggest problem is it generally just lacks removal. Your really only form of removal is the Waka. The Fire Eject is quite good as well, because you can now cast it off the Riku, which is really nice. So that Eject and this Waka are your main primary sources of removal, but beyond that, it can be very difficult to get stuff off the board. I thought about putting a summon in like Dryad, but then you can't guarantee you're going to have that many wind characters, so I don't know how reliable that is. Technically, you have this Yuna as well, and this Yuna is good, but it also name clashes with this Yuna, and this Yuna, the strongest play you can still do, I believe, is you put out Waka, you get 1 counter, you discard Orin, play Yuna, revive Orin, Waka immediately goes to 3 counters, they have to target Orin for anything, and then Waka can immediately get rid of something. And I've seen other people in the past load up with other Wakas to take advantage of his special, which I have tried before. However, this time, to kind of counter that, I just loaded up with Asura, because Asura says get back a Waka, so you can use Asura to get back a Waka to then fire off a special. And there are a few little tricks in here that maybe weren't available last time. Pain came in and was she Opus 19, 20? I can't really see the number. She's a 19. And she's not amazing, but she's a multi-element, so you can pitch her for either like the Yuna, and she's just another 10 character if you really need to build the Yuna number up. Lulu, Sin's just a one of, can be really good against certain decks, and the auto ability cancel has saved me. It won me a game once, but kind of fun. Evray, you don't really need him in here because you're not really doing a whole lot of backup reactivation. However, he is a 10 character, so he will add towards Yuna's 10 count, and having 1 free extra CP a turn is never a bad thing. As a matter of fact, it can work with some of the tricks we've told you about. So, Princess Sarah, there's only 1 copy, but again, it can be searched off of Sarah. And what I like about this card is the action ability hasn't come up yet, but you can turn those extra copies of Sarah or Lena into 1. But what's really neat is she works really well with this Tidus. Normally, I've always been all in on the light Tidus in the past, but this Tidus, right, says unblockable, and says if you target him, as Ghoul likes to describe it, he does the Blitzball flip kick, tucks into the deck, draws you 3 cards, and knocks something out. Well, one of his weaknesses was always EX Burst, that if they choose him with an EX Burst because it doesn't use the stack or because it's faster than the stack, however you want to say it, it would get rid of him before his effect could go off. Well, with Princess Sarah, you can make him untargetable by EX Burst, saying that it doesn't, like, basically you cannot target him no matter what. You're going to get the penalty. You won't get that one in, you know, that cheap shot of, whoop, happen to hit the right EX Burst, so he's gone now. So that's been a really fun combo to play with. Lena is also very good. Her Raise, I'm very tempted to put a third copy in here just to try to abuse Raise, and you honestly could probably get rid of Kamari if you wanted to do that, although I did like Buddy being able to search out the other color, although again, Riku kind of makes that pointless anyway, so maybe you should swap Kamari for Lena. So yeah, as you're watching this video, as I'm realizing too, maybe we swap Kamari for a third Lena, because Lena just has so many targets. It's just a forward of 3 or less, comes on dull. I mean, this is most of the forwards in this deck. You can't get this Yuna or the Jex or the Sin, but you can get this Yuna, you can get this Tidus, you can get Lulu, you can get this Tidus, Pain, Waka, Orin. So it's, and you can do it on your opponent's turn. So think of all the things you could do. They go to combat, you bring in this Yuna, suddenly you send something packing, you know, to the bottom or top of their owner's deck, which they weren't expecting, or you bring in this Tidus, you have a Ject on the field, they're going to do something insane. You don't have a copy of Ject block in your hand. You bring in this Tidus, you search out your Ject block, and then you can cancel whatever it is they're going to do. Or there's even some tricky stuff you can do with Orin, that there are certain effects that are split into 2 sections, right? Think of Robel Akbel. Robel has 2 auto abilities wrapped in one. When he enters the field, you pay a crystal. When you do so, choose a forward or monster, break it. So let's say they have Robel Akbel enter the field, and normally you would always respond to the second part, right? Because whatever, let them pay the crystal. But here, before they pay the crystal, you can use Lena to bring in Orin. Now, if they choose the crystal, they're forced to pick Orin. Now, you have to just be mindful how you do that on the stack. Again, if it's already gotten to the point where he chooses a forward, you can't bring in Orin at that point. It's too late. They've already made their selection. But while you've got that little in-between time, and there's a lot of effects like that, you could sneak in Orin to be like, surprise, now you got to pick him. So this has been really fun in testing. And again, Waka is so important, getting to revive him. So yeah, again, there's nothing mind-blowing here. There's nothing brand new. I'm not saying this deck is super competitive, because I honestly don't think it is. I wouldn't trust taking it to a tournament, but it is fun to play with. And 1, I love these characters so much. 2, the backup consistency is quite good. And there are just enough little tricks here and there that you can use to abuse. I think one turn I even did a Lena Raise on their turn. I brought in this Tidus on their turn, so he's going to be ready to attack on my turn. And Tidus, Waka had 2 counters on him. So not only that, bringing in Tidus buffed the Waka to the 3rd counter. So suddenly I had an Auroch Spirit. Really cool. So Lena's a big one. Maybe you should just, pop on the 3rd one instead of Kamari. Or I guess you could even take out a brother maybe if you want that. We are a little heavy on the win side just by a little bit, but it's pretty well evenly balanced. As you can see too, there is a bit of a name clash in here. We've got 2 copies of Tidus, 2 versions of Yuta, 2 versions of Ject. So again, it kind of struggles with the things Guardians has always struggled with, and that removal is very limited to Waka. It's hard to get a bunch of diverse names out there, but it does still have those really strong game states where if you're on damage 3, Yuna's buffing the board, you've got Orin who they've got to target, you've got Tidus pumping everyone by 2 when he attacks, you have Ject and Ject blocks in your hand, and Ject block legit says anything your opponent doesn't work, which was really awesome. So let's try a couple Goldfishing hands, as they say. Yes, I'll go first. Why not? So let's see what kind of mulligans we get. Watch it look terrible. Oh, it's on camera. Okay, so this one's kind of weird, right? So you have a Riku, and you can easily pitch into a Riku. If we had water CP, I'm fine with this because I can get Riku, Lena, and then I've got both my CP fixed. It's a little weird because what do you do on turn 2? Like, do you just put out Sin? So this one is a little strange. I'm kind of curious to see what would happen if we kept this. So we're not going to go for the automatic. Okay, so if we keep this, we draw Lulu. So obvious is you pitch a Riku. Really nothing to it. Let's say go to the end of turn. Brother. Okay, brother kind of fixed that out a little bit. So we here probably pitch. It's a little early for Ject. So probably get rid of Ject. I only have the one copy of Sin, so I'm a little more hesitant to get rid of him. Brother. Now, who would you search in a situation like this? That is a good question. And again, of course, we don't know what our opponent's doing. If we need to go fast, this Tidus is always a really good option. If we realize it's a late game deck, putting him on is really good pressure. There we have Riku, so we can cast him immediately. Orin by himself doesn't really do much, nor does Ject. If they have something in the break zone we really want to get rid of early that they've gotten discarded, Pain's not a terrible option. I always like this Yuna, but again, this would be very dependent on what they do. If they have something we need to remove, Yuna would put us up to 3 10 characters already, so that's not bad. It's never terrible to hold a Waka. I really like this Tidus here. So this I would kind of react based on what my opponent's doing. Let's say they weren't doing anything special, another thing you could do, so like you could grab Orin here, because he can always be revived off of Yuna later. Discard the Orin, play the Lena, boom. You've got your color fixing now. Go to one more turn. Nice, Princess Sarah. So here, quite nicely, we have a nice little carve out. We can do Princess Sarah, Riku for whatever. And then you could Lena, discard Chocobo, get out Lulu, get back the Chocobo. So there you go. Nice little curve out there. Let's try another one. I'll just shove all this back in the deck. Boop. See if we can't get a start with one of the backup chains. Oh, yeah. Okay, good. It still gave me a mulligan. Okay, so this one's not great. The 2 Jeks aren't very good. Evre's kind of okay to see, but we just have the Princess Sarah. So this one, if you kept, you'd be very reliant on just putting down Princess Sarah, hoping you draw into something else. We don't even have a summon for Lulu, so we're going to go ahead and mulligan that. And this hand is awful. So yeah, see, this is what happens. Wow, this hand is bad. Can we top deck something to save us? Well, we did. It drew us 2. Well, let's us. I mean, if we were going second, this is a totally valid play. Let's assume we were going first. So probably you would get rid of the Pain. It's a real shame this Pain is a Gullwing. Otherwise, this unit could just bring her back. You could throw out this unit too, or arguably even this Tidus. I tend to favor this one. I really hate getting rid of this unit because this card usually dies. So personally, I'd probably get rid of Pain here. Put out Riku. We already kind of have a sneak preview. We know Buddy's coming next. So now with Buddy, we can, based on what our opponent's doing, we definitely have too many Yunas. I'm probably throwing out this Yuna. I want to keep Tidus so I have water CP, and unfortunately the light Tidus is kind of mucking up our hand a little bit here. So here, put out Buddy. Buddy searches out a backup. And if you wanted to go even more ham, you could get the Brother, pitch another one of these for Brother to, I kind of don't like, that almost feels a little too aggressive. If you want to be a little more patient, you could get either Kamari or another Riku. Riku wouldn't give you anything to do. Riku would essentially say you have to play one of these Tidus cards, which isn't terrible because they are going to give you their own value. He's going to put on pressure. He's going to search something else out. Kamari gives you a little more value, and you could potentially put out this Tidus this turn and then put the Kamari down. I don't like having to give up the Yuna. Or you can do the Brother to just continue the chain there as well. Let's reset it again. Let's see if we can. It's going to draw us 2 cards every time now, so that's okay. I don't want to take the time to reset the game. Okay. Oh, drawed right. I should mulligan first. Hold on. Reshuffle again. So here, we'll just do this. We'll do it manually. So we'll pretend this is our starting hand. Nice, that's a good one. So let's say we draw for turn. Yeah, we would definitely keep this. Nice. So I would probably throw out, again, definitely Pain. And probably Lulu. It's a little early for her. We don't have any summons. And then put out Sarah. And here you have a lot of options, especially because we have King Tycoon. King Tycoon is going to get the Lena for us. So probably what I would do with Sarah is either one of two things. Either get the Princess Sarah, in which case you probably wait a turn for this because you can play King Tycoon on curve next turn. Or if you wanted to, you could either get a Lena and then King Tycoon can search out the other copy of Lena, so you have the raise ready, or you could even get another copy of this Sarah just so you have something to pitch for the Lena next turn. So like, let's see what that looks like. So we grab this other copy of Sarah. Normally doesn't seem great, like, right? Well, why wouldn't you go get something else? We'll go through our turn. Now next turn, we draw two. Hey, look at that. It's the third copy of Sarah. We do have to get rid of one of our units, of course, but that's okay. So we discard Wind, play King Tycoon. King Tycoon goes and searches our Lena. Whoops, I said Ferris. That won't be happening until they make the Ferris back up. Then that'll be happening. Get the Lena. Discard the Sarah for the Lena. Boom, we're on 3 backups. And now, obviously, the only issue with this is, as you can see, we have no 10 characters for Yuna. So yes, there is a tiny bit of anti-synergy because while we've curved out nicely, this card basically isn't going to hit anything right now, which is fine. It happens. Here, we don't have any more backups we can ramp up. So, and then again, this is getting into more who knows what our opponent has been doing at this turn, at this point. But you could easily play out the Waka. Now you do have... At least you can remove a 2 cost with this Yuna. You also could have used this unit to recover the Waka, or even, well, no, she can't pull the Pain back. She should be able to pull the Pain back. Why can't she? I understand Pain is a goaling and she wasn't a part of Yuna's original team, but come on, make these cards work together. See, this is one of these issues. But anyway, you get the idea. You can at least get, even if you just don't ramp out to 5 right away, you can at least get set up on your colors very quickly. And let's just do one more for the road. Here. Be curious to see what we get with Buddy. If we can get Mr. Buddy. Okay, so we draw 5 to start. 4, 5. Okay, wow, that's quite a good hand. So let's say if we're going first, we draw 1. I mean, here the world's your oyster, right? So you could go Sarah into King Tycoon into Lena. Let's see how that... So, man, you've got choices here. Okay, so let's say we get rid of Jekt and Lulu. Put down Buddy. We're definitely going to go get Riku. I probably, if I have this kind of an option, the Buddy and the Sarah, I'm probably going to favor the 10 side more, because again, it adds to the 10 character count for Yuna. So I do think that's a little more prudent. Here, so like, let's say I'm fine letting the Princess Sarah go. I'm going to discard her for Riku. Go to my next turn. Let's say the next turn has happened. I draw 2, reactivate. Now, I can hit these 2. 1, 2. I said fire, whatever. And it's technically only casting a 10 card, so it wouldn't work for that either. Get rid of the Tidus. Sarah. Sarah now searches out King Tycoon. And then now on our next turn, assuming our opponents haven't like kicked our face in with 13, we're set up again. You can immediately just go into King Tycoon. Probably the better way to pay for this, actually, just so we don't have to burn a Waka, because I do value him. Here, pitch a Chocobo, cast King Tycoon, go get Lena. And then you can Lena right there, and boom, you're set up. This is probably one of the more ideal backup lines. You could maybe argue maybe you want one more 10 character, but usually the sweet spot I'm looking for with the big Yuna is 3, and she does count herself, and if you get Evray, you're looking at 4. So I think this is pretty nice. Again, opening, so as you saw, opening with both Buddy and Sarah, you can chain out to 5. As far as your colors, it doesn't, like 2 water versus 3 wind, 3 water versus... Riku really fixes most of that, so as long as you have Riku down, that doesn't really matter. Otherwise, maybe you just want Maybe you want one more water because Lena uses water for her special. Waka uses water for his special. But so there you go. So as you can see, backup line ramps out really nicely. And then you're stuck playing Guardian. So good luck with that. But it's fun. It is what it is. So hope you like that. Hope you enjoy. And let me know what ideas you've come up with for Opus 21. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you're interested and you like videos like this, want to see more, let me know in the comments. That kind of feedback really helps kind of shape where I'm going. And please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the little notification. All that stuff really helps the channel out. And I'm very grateful for all of you for watching. Hope you have a lovely day. And until next time, take care.